Okay, it's me again. I decided to do a video on how to hook up multiple batteries in a car, but I thought before I did I would do a brief video to describe the different types of batteries that we use in car audio. And the two types of batteries that we use are the starter type battery and a deep cycle type battery. So I just want to do a brief video showing kind of what's going on inside of those batteries while they're storing voltage or storing charge. So got a battery here, plus and minus terminal, and so in all batteries you're gonna have some electrolytic type substance. In car audio and cars, basically you're gonna have your electrolytic as sulfuric acid, and you're gonna have your lead plates in there, and one will be, well, it's not one, but you'll have positive and negative plates. The positive plates are going to be lead oxide. The negative plates are going to be just regular lead, and you're also going to have water in there, which is H2O. Okay, and the interaction between these, the chemical reaction that occurs between these substances here, is what produces the current, or the difference in potential between the poles. So how does that occur? Okay, I'm not going to do all the chemical equations. I'm just going to tell you what's going on. When the battery, say you put a load across here and current is flowing, what happens is one of the byproducts of this chemical reaction is something called lead sulfide, and it starts to collect on these plates. Right when the battery is fully charged, let's say at 12 volts, the entire surface area of these plates is producing charge. But as it produces charge, like I said, this chemical reaction is occurring, lead sulfide is put out into the solution. And that lead sulfide collects on both plates. And it just kind of coats the plates like this. And it does that, it takes away your surface area, it takes away your charge, and it also lowers your voltage. Okay, so let's say now at 11 volts we've got like only this much of our plates is producing or storing and generating charge. At this point right here, let's say we were out listening to our stereo without the car running and the battery not being charged. So lead sulfide has collected on the plates, and then we started the car. Since this lead sulfide is still soft, what happens is it goes back out into the solution and becomes its original elements again. So the lead oxide collects back on the positive, the lead collects back on the negative, and hydrogen's given off, oxygen's given off, and that's why when batteries are charged, they vent hydrogen and oxygen, which are both highly flammable gases. That's why it's so dangerous to have these types of batteries inside the cab of the car with you while you're charging them, because they do give off dangerous gases, which is hydrogen and oxygen, which are both flammable. Not to mention they're filled with sulfuric acid and lead. Okay, so let's look if we let it get a little bit more of the power going out of it. 10.5 volts is the magic number with car batteries, 12 volt batteries. And I'm going to show you why here. So let's go back to where we were, where we had got down to 11 volts. And the lead sulfide had collected on the plate, so we don't have as much surface area to get charged from anymore. Okay, oh yeah, and also this lead sulfide, the lead has to come from somewhere, and where it comes from is the plates. So some of the lead from the plates is eaten away, and it's used to produce this lead sulfide. And lead sulfide is absolutely useless. It will not produce electric charge at all. And it can't store electric charge either. So that part of the battery is useless once is collected there. Now 10.5 volts is a magic number because you remember I told you that lead sulfide is soft. When you get down to around 10.5 volts, the lead sulfide starts to crystallize. So let's say we got down to 10.5 volts. So lead sulfide has collected over a great portion of the battery now. And at 10.5 volts, the battery is considered to be dead because it cannot really hold any charge because there's just a little bit of lead surface area to hold charge, and it just won't hold charge anymore. So at 10.5 volts, the lead sulfide starts to crystallize and get hard down there. Okay, so what happens when you charge the battery at this point is the soft lead sulfide will go back to its original element, which is lead and lead oxide, and give off the hydrogen and oxygen gas. But what happened is, you see here, this lead sulfide that had crystallized did not go back into the solution. So what has happened is that you don't have as much cranking amps from this battery anymore, ever, because this will never go back into the solution because it's crystallized. So your cold cranking amps have been diminished forever. That's why it's dangerous to let starter batteries get down to 10.5 volts, because they are damaged. Not to mention, remember I told you that lead sulfide, the lead has to come from somewhere, and it comes from these plates. So it has been eaten away a little bit. And since you never get this lead sulfide to go away, you never get that lead back. And with starter batteries, you can let this process right here happen about 15 to 30 times, and then that battery is useless, because each time you let it get down to 10.5 volts, some of that lead sulfide crystallizes. So basically you can do that 15 to 30 times until you're at a point where the battery will not hold charge anymore. So that's why in car audio we don't really care for starter type batteries. That's your red tops, because if you're talking about Optima batteries, that would be a red top Optima battery. It's a starter battery. It's not designed to be discharged and charged back up, discharged and charged back up. So they're not designed to be used when you play your radio without the car running, because they're damaged when you go down to 10.5 volts. And like I said, somewhere between 15 and 30 times you leave your lights on, 15 to 30 times that battery's not going to charge anymore. Okay, so let's go to the deep cycle battery then, why they work better for storing charge and let you discharge them. Okay, the thing about deep cycle batteries is the same process. They have plates in them, except the plates are much, much thicker. Why is that a benefit? Well, because now when you get down to 10.5 volts, only a smaller percentage of the battery is actually has a crystallized lead sulfide on it. And with a deep cycle battery, you can discharge it all the way down and recharge it back up like 800 times before you're up here where it will not hold charge anymore. So that's why in car audio, deep cycle batteries work best for us, especially when you play your system without the car running. Deep cycle batteries are the way to go, because they can handle you letting the voltage get very low and then just charge the battery back up. But that's the two main differences between the deep cycle battery and the starter type battery. And when we talk about deep cycle, like I was saying, that's your yellow top battery or your Deca Intimidator or your Odyssey batteries or the other deep cycle type kinetic type batteries. That's it.